Do you remember your first business trip? When you looked at your boss and you said, hang on a second, you're paying for my hotel and my food. This counts as work, right? Yeah. Well, this was my first business trip. And I had 2 suits. It was buy one, get one, 50% off. Yeah. And I had found my new identity. This was the professional me. The Uber-employed me. The I might start an IRA me. And it wasn't just one trip. Oh no. No, I was going on 2 trips in 3 days in 2 countries, Seattle and Canada. You're right, it's big. It's big. And this was going to make or break my career. Now the problem was, my layover was only 45 minutes. And you know what happens with a layover like that? I mean, they lose your luggage. And you can't lose your luggage when you're a professional. You know what I'm saying? So what to do? Now you might say, carry your luggage, right? Well, as a person with a disability, carrying my luggage is not choice number 1. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm honest with you, it's not choice number 2 or number 3 either. You have to really want it. And trust me, I really wanted it. But the thing is, I move kind of slow, and I have trouble schlepping stuff. I was in the market for a head start. You know what I'm saying? And head start meant pre-boarding. But I had never pre-boarded before in my whole life. Like, I was that I can do it on my own, it just might take me a little longer sort of disabled chick. You know what I'm saying? I was the, we all have a disability. You can just see mine. One with the masses sort of girl. And while pre-boarding is not a one with the masses sort of activity, as a professional, you gotta make those tough choices. You know what I'm saying? So I go up to the counter, and there's the flight attendant. She has this blonde hair, and this pink lipstick that I think would have been a really good match for her natural hair color. Yeah. And then she had that sort of standard issue neckerchief. But hers had this gold clasp. It was so big, it just kind of pulled her whole head. And I'd been practicing my professional voice all morning. Yeah. So I said, pardon me, what time will you be pre-boarding? And she looked at me and she said, like, I don't get it. You mean for like handicapped people? And I said, yes, people with disabilities, right? And she said, but like I only pre-board wheelchairs. And I don't see any wheelchairs here. And I'm thinking, be professional, people who use wheelchairs. And I said, you know, there are also people who don't use wheelchairs who also need to pre-board, you know? And it was at that moment that she stepped away from the kiosk and she gave me this very thorough, illegal once-over. I qualified. Yeah. And then she said, we will in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. I'm thinking, like, what put her in Mr. Rogers' slow-mo? But I had things to do. I had all my stuff I had to get together. I had the luggage my parents bought me when I was 14. It was professional. Yeah, and I had a copy at my gigantic paper day planner. You remember those? Yeah, and then I had a copy of the New York Times. Wait, do you remember newspapers? And I had that New York Times under my arm because I wanted everyone on that flight to know, oh, I'm informed. I keep up with current events. Yeah. And I start making my way to the front in this professional, albeit slightly tricked out saunter. You know? And she's reaching for the mic, and I'm thinking, this is where all of those tough professional choices pay off. And then she said, all right, everybody, let's hit it! And then there was a stampede. Did I fail to mention I was flying Southwest Airlines? You're familiar. Yeah. In its early days. Suddenly, my suitcase is off its wheels. My New York Times is long gone, and I am hanging on, you know? And she sees me, and she says, oh my God, I am so sorry. And I said, well, that's okay, stuff happens. And she says, no, I can totally fix this. And then with, frankly, remarkable enunciation, she said, everybody, step aside. This little girl's handicapped. Has that ever happened to you? No, it was a first for me as well, right? But I mean, she fixed it, right? Because suddenly the seas parted. Yeah, and I'm Moses with a staff. And a sign on my back that must read, please deposit your inappropriate comments. So the first guy, he slaps me on the back and he says, you know, my uncle was a cripple. In this tone of voice suggesting maybe I knew him. And then the next guy says, would you like to hold my hand? And I'm thinking, for more reasons than I can count, frankly, no. And then there was the Mary Kay lady, all pink, perfectly coiffed, stiletto heels. And she came up to me and she said in this sort of newly empowered voice, don't you worry about your crippled little legs. Because you are still so pretty. Am I being punked? Still so pretty. Still so pretty. Just sort of oozed out onto the floor. As this nearly insurmountable obstacle course between me and getting on that flight. But damn it, I'm a professional now. I threw my bag in the overhead bin. Oh, I buckled up my emotions low and tight across my lap. I locked my pride in the upright position. I am making it through this flight. As we were deplaning, Mary Kay, still so pretty, she had somehow wrapped her heel, her foot, around the strap of the other guy's suitcase. And she went to take a step, and it was kind of like arms flailing, and she went down. Hard. So I tapped that creepy guy from earlier, and I said, you know, she might actually want to hold your hands. Who said she was struggling. But the takeaway, it's this. That next time that you hear that call for pre-boarding, oh, you step aside. Because it's all me.